What's good, y'all? I just took a cold shower. Cold showers are a great way to calm your nervous system. And Wim Hof breathing method is great because when you have a calm nervous system, that raises your frequency. A lot of the things in this world are designed to kind of get you in like an anxious state. And that when you're in an anxious state, you're just only going to manifest disasters, right? Because the most important thing is to raise your frequency. And the way you raise your frequency, one of the ways is by being calm. And so cold showers and breathing exercises, like there's a guided meditation on YouTube that's great for that, because you want to keep your nervous system calm. You want to, and detachment. Detachment is like one of the probably number one thing when it comes to manifestation. You want to detach from your ego, and you want to detach from what's going on in the outside world. Because a lot of the things that are going on in the outside world are things you created because you're a creator. You create it from an unconscious mind. You want to detach from your ego, and you want to realize your true identity, which is a creator. You're a multi-frequential being. You're not a human being. You're energy. You're conscious energy. You're infinite awareness. And that infinite awareness created the illusion of separation, so you can experience this third dimensional reality. I need to get some more coffee. This coffee is delicious. It's like cinnamon. It's like a cinnamon flavor coffee. All right, so you want to detach from the character, the false character, because as long as your identity is based on, as long as you think you're the body, you think you're the thoughts, you think you're your experiences, then what you manifest ain't going to be that great, because you're operating from the traumatized, fragmented ego, and which is limited, and doesn't know anything, and which isn't who you really are. You know what I mean? So it's not who you really are. Who you really are is infinite awareness. And at your core, you are love and wisdom, unconditional love. Your vibration. And you can vibrate high or you can vibrate low. And there's times in my life where I vibrated very low because I was unconscious. I saw it through the eyes of my ego completely, in separation, in scarcity and fear. But your true self is abundant, infinite abundance. And there's nothing separate from you. So these are the concepts that I'm going to teach you, or you're teaching yourself, because everything's one. That's going to help you vibrate higher. Your frequency, we're brainwashed by this world to give too much attention and power to things outside of us. The most important thing you need to do is focus on here, not what everything else. That's the problem with a lot of the content on YouTube and stuff on TV. It gets you to focus on everything outside of you. But that's not where your power is. Your power is here. The universe is a multi-frequential mirror. It mirrors what's going on in here. So if it's chaotic in here because of trauma, because of everything outside of you is making you angry or anxious or whatever, and that's what's going on in here, then that's what the reality is going to mirror. And what I'm teaching you is tangible. So the more you focus on here and focus on getting high vibrational, raising your frequency by being present, because being no future, no past, being in the present moment, because that gets you out of your ego, that gets you out of the thinking mind. Thoughts are low frequency. Thoughts are low frequency. And it keeps you trapped more in the ego. You don't need thoughts as much as you think you need them. My first realization with this was from shrooms. It blew my mind. It was the first thing that came to me was when I went to a state of no mind. The Zen masters talk about this, no mind. And I didn't know that really existed, because I was a person that was just like completely wrapped up in ego, completely wrapped up in thoughts. And my thoughts kind of like it just went away. And what came to me was the peace that passes all understanding. Like that just came, that message, because I grew up in church, that message came to my head. Like, this is what he's talking about when Jesus says the peace that passes all understanding. It's the state of no mind. And in that no mind, that's why we can't hear God. We can't hear God because our ego monkey mind is in the way. That's why meditation and being present is so important, because once we can start to like get that monkey mind out of the way, we can access a higher state of consciousness and we'll get downloads from God. I think the Bible talks about God speaking in like quiet, but we can't hear him because the ego mind identity that lives that belongs to the third dimension, this material world, that we are not, because we're not our thoughts, but we think we're our thoughts. Our thoughts are just low frequency energy and we identify with the body. We're not. Our thoughts get us to identify with the body, that we're not. We're energy. And so that state of no mind lifts you to a higher dimension. And you get in the flow state. That's why you see athletes, Jordan, he's not sitting there thinking about everything. He's in a flow state, a state of no mind. When you see like amazing freestylers and just people or charismatic, they're in a flow state. And a flow state is a state of no mind, but we've been kind of conditioned to like put the thinking mind on a pedestal. And of course, it serves a purpose, but it shouldn't be your master. You want to and a lot of times what I realized too when I on the shroom trip is that it's just like just doing busy work, the mind. It's not really, it doesn't help anything the majority of the time. The majority, we're just overthinking, and it causes us stress and fear. Our subconscious mind is what's really guiding our actions. So you don't need the thinking mind like you think you do. Like when you walk, when you're going to the store, it's like you don't need it. When you're like, I'm drinking this, I don't need to think about it. It's an illusion. You don't. And so techniques to help you slow down the mind is first being present, no future, no past. And then when your mind tries to get you wrapped up in a story or whatever it does, like, say to yourself, I don't know and I don't care. Because when you give your mind, your thoughts focus, the more focus you give it, the more energy you're giving it, because your focus is your energy. So you want to get into a habit, and this is going to be a challenge at first because we're addicted to our thoughts. We're addicted to analyzing everything. But when your thoughts come to you, I don't know and I don't care. So, and just keep doing that. And that'll raise your frequency. Another thing that lowers your frequency is judgment. It's something that belongs to the ego mind, that the ego mind does. Now, you need discernment, but judgment is usually negative, where you're looking at people like, oh, I can't believe he dressed like that. I can't believe he act like that, da-da-da. The ego mind judge, that's low frequency. That's why Jesus says, don't judge. What you don't realize, why that is so powerful, is because the seer and what is seen is one thing. All is one. But the ego sees in separation, but you're not the ego. You're the I am. And so you want to stop judging. Now, a technique, because a lot of times we just judge like on autopilot. So a technique to help you stop judging, to help raise your frequency, which will help your manifestations, is when the mind starts, doing what it does, I don't know, and I don't care. No future, no past, and realize what you're judging is you. So you're giving you negativity, right? So I'm telling you, I know we're addicted to judging. Now, discernment is important, but that's different. We need discernment. Like, I don't want to go that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to. That's, of course, you need that. But judgment is low frequency. Also, you want to live in compassion and empathy for others, because all is one. The seer and what is seen is one thing. Now, the ego mind is going to hear these concepts and, judge it, but that's why you need faith and you need to try this because it's tangible. Good morning. Good morning, April Love. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. And so you need to exercise compassion. First, start with yourself. Because people that don't have compassion for themselves, they don't have it for others. So you want to start with having compassion for yourself. So have compassion for yourself. Learn to love yourself. Because once you start to love yourself, the good, and you accept the good and bad, because you're your energy. And so the more you learn to love yourself, your outer reality will start to mirror that. So you want to love yourself, because if you hate yourself, the outer world is going to mirror that. When I hated myself, man, I got that mirror right back. You know what I mean? So you want to start loving yourself, and you want to have empathy. These are high vibrational things. This is like a lot of the things Jesus was saying, they were so deep, people can't even understand them that are teaching them, because because people are listening to Jesus through their ego mind identity. And so the ego mind identity distorts things because it doesn't understand the higher concept. And so, but what Jesus is saying is so deep that it's crazy. But unfortunately, religion has distorted the teachings to control people. But anyway, That's another video. So learn to love yourself, learn to have compassion for yourself. Warts and all. Learn to love the good and the bad, because that's unconditional love. And we all want unconditional love, but you're not going to get that until you have unconditional love for yourself. Then the world will start to mirror it back. But you have to give it to yourself first. But we're taught to give it outside of us first. And then when you give it outside of you, but you didn't give it to yourself, then a lot of times you just attract trauma bonds and narcissists. You know what I mean? And so you have to learn to give it to yourself first. April Love says, good, I agree. I just shared this live, just getting up, got my coffee and listening. Amen. Take your time and explain, nephew. This is God. Thank you. I appreciate you. Much love. And, so love yourself. And I know, like, I'm a person, like, I vibrated low. I'm not telling you anything. Like, my frequency is probably as low as it can get. You know what I mean? Like, it was like I was an alcoholic, so you know what I mean. Like, my frequency is low. You know what I mean? So I know how that low frequency works, and I attracted when your frequency is low, you attract negative energy. And a lot of times my frequency was low just because unconscious and ignorant and trauma and listening to people that don't know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? So, so if you're at a low frequency, that's fine. I've been there, and I'm going to tell you how to because once you raise your frequency, them demons and them astral entities that attach to you, because astral entities are real. I have a lot of experience with those. Once you raise your frequency, they can't do anything with that. They'll have to go. Just like I was plagued with nightmares for a large majority of my life, some of the worst, darkest nightmares you can imagine, because I was so low frequency. I had so much fear and trauma. And I would have these nightmares. And I'm grateful for all those experiences, because I learned a lot through those experiences. And I cursed God at the time, you know what I mean? Like crazy, because I just thought, like, why do you hate me? But now I realize it's because he loved me. It taught me like because I remember having this one nightmare, and then I detached from the nightmare. Like, I just was like, I don't even care, but this is ridiculous. And that detachment instantly took me to like a good dream, like instantly. Now, in this physical reality, there's some lag time, because it's a dense material world, but it's the same principle. Once you raise your frequency, your outer reality you know what I mean? Your outer reality will catch up. And so you want to hold that frequency. You want to hold that frequency and that high vibrational frequency of non-judgment, of detachment. When you detach from things, they start to magnetize to you. So when you ever notice how when you're really needy, whether it be a relationships or you just want something so bad, it seems like it gets further from you. And then when you care less, then things come towards you. That's detachment. The Buddhist talks about detachment, and Jesus says some things about detachment. You want to detach a bit, because everything is within you. You don't need to be needy about stuff. God wants you to have everything you desire. But that's where faith comes in. You have to know that your desire is around the corner. You have to know that because you're the creator of your reality. That's that gift from the creator, which you are not separate from. You're not separate from God. That's the good news. Everything is one. You're a divine fractal of God. I don't care about the things you did in your past. None of that is relevant. That's why you have to marry yourself to the present moment. A lot of the bad stuff you did that you label, that your ego labels as bad, it comes from a place of ignorance. Most people operate in it's bullshit because they're ignorant. They don't know who they really are. They live in fear. They're overwhelmed by grief. They think they got to manipulate and all this stuff to get what they want, but you don't have to do that. With some of the teachings I'm giving you or you're giving you, because everything is one. You manifested me in your reality to give you this information. This will help you raise your frequency. April Love says, right? Amen. Facts. Thank you. Appreciate you. So remember detachment, detached from the false character, the ego. Now this is going to be hard. It's going to be challenging because we've been programmed and we've been brainwashed to identify with the body, with the thoughts. And so you have to get into the habit of recreating yourself as a creator of your reality, not the victim. Everything in this society wants to, make you think you're a victim. And I'm not saying you haven't been victimized. I'm not saying your character hasn't been through the ringer. I'm not saying there's not tons of corruption in this world, that it's not a dark world. That's not what I'm saying. But you're not a victim. You were just unconscious and didn't know your power. But it's time to let that victimhood go. It's time to let that, because that belongs to the ego mind identity, which you're not. You are a divine fractal of God. You don't need to fear, right? That's low frequency. Now, if you fear, that belongs to the body. Let it come. A lot of times we try to suppress things with drugs and all that and distracting ourselves. But allow your fear, because that's how you heal it. That's why people don't heal, is because they be on so much drugs, drinking all the time and whatever else drugs, or distracting themselves. Let your body process the emotions. Let the fear rise and let it go. It doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the body. It belongs to the third dimension. It belongs to the third dimension. You're a divine fractal of God, period. But you have so much brainwashing. You have so much brainwashing. And so you have to let that go. The ego has been brainwashed and has so much trauma. And so that's why the process of letting the ego go is difficult. It's difficult because we want to stay small, and growth can be painful. But I'm telling you, it is so worth it. If you want to start manifesting, what I'm saying? Like, watch, when I raise I'm still going through this process. I probably end up in another location. You know what I mean? You raise your and also realize when you raise your frequency, people will go out your life. Low frequency people will just disappear out of your reality. And that will be difficult for your ego. People that you're attached to, old friends, gone. I raise my frequency, gone. Let them go. That's why you need detachment. new people, higher frequency people. You have to let some people go to let new people in. So that your dream girl or your dream man or your dream situation, whatever, it can't come unless some things go. Some things have to go. Let them go. Some people have to go. They'll be all right. They're divine fractals of God. They just have to go through a different lesson. You know what I'm saying? Let them go. She said facts, right? It is so worth it. And it's the abundance is unlimited. The ego mind is limited. So allow yourself to keep going through growing pains. Like I'm still going through growing pains, but I know now that I'm elevating. That's why I made a video talking about give thanks. All things, give thanks to everything, because a lot of the things that you curse, and I know, I get it, but they're catalysts. They're catalysts. Sometimes, people are set in your life to trigger you, to make you feel old wounds. And that's what detachment, let people trigger you. So if I'm at triggering and some people say something to make me angry or to make me sad, fine. Let your body process that. Don't judge it. Let your body process that and detach, because you're not the body. You're not the thoughts. So just let them trigger you. Then you'll find you won't be triggered by that stuff no more. And your vibration, you'll be lighter. Your frequency is raising. A lot of times we resist these processes because we're coming from the unawakened mind that doesn't know things are working out for our favor. And stay present. No future, no past. People get caught up in the stories. Oh, I did that, this, or they're worried about the future, and that's why a lot of times there's a lot of channels and things on TV that you need to let go of, because they're keeping you in that low frequency. And I know it's difficult to detach from a lot of things. Like I'm addicted to some like low frequency stuff that I had to let go of, and more things that I got to let go of. But it's worth it, because we get addicted. It's not just drugs that get us addictive. Like everything in this material world can be addictive, But it's not you that's addicted. It's the body. The body gets addicted. The body gets addicted to drugs. The body gets addicted to sex. The body gets addicted to drama. And the body gets addicted to people. The body gets addicted to just everything. But that's not you. So set some space. That's I'll get into that about like helping breaking addictions in another video soon. But this, bro, like I'm telling y'all, what I'm giving y'all right now is gold, and this is tangible. You practice these teachings, you'll see. Just one of them. Detachment. Practice detachment. Detach from needing. Detach from anything outside of you. Take care of this. Relax. Calm your nervous system. Relax. When somebody triggers you, recreate yourself in the present moment as the creator, not a victim. Because the more you get into the stories about, I can't believe how they did that, your frequency is lowering. You want to hold that frequency, and then your reality will catch up. You want to hold that. Use your imagination. Even if your outer reality sucks, be happy, because you're about to create an amazing life. Use that's why the Matrix wants to like destroy your imagination, because that's your power. Look at all the things in our reality that we're starting to create with AI and robots, and it's all from our imagination. We are creators. That's our gift from God. There's no separation. We can create. We just haven't been told that we're creators. This world has turned us into victims. It's time to let that victimhood go. Not because you haven't been traumatized, not because there's not terrible things that people do, that low vibrational people do, but you got to love them. That's why Jesus says, love your enemies, because they're you. And also, once you love your enemies, you raise your frequency. He's giving y'all the jewels, not just to be a little goody two shoes. He's giving you the jewels so you can transform your fucking life. But all these preachers want to talk about this and that, but they don't know what they're talking about because they operate from their ego. They just want the validation. They would want to be on stage. They want it, 'cause that's the ego mind. You're a multi-frequential being. You don't need validation. You're infinite. What does infinite awareness need with validation? That belongs to your ego, your character, who you think you are. You're not your thoughts. You're not your past experiences. Your energy, your conscious energy. And you can access those high frequencies anytime you want. You can access low frequencies if you want. If somebody wants to smoke, you can access the low frequencies. If you just feel like, hey, I just want to give out the smoke today, you can access that. You know, it is what it is. But I'm telling y'all, or you're telling you, I'm new to the live streams. You say, speak, nephew. Facts. Ooh wee. I love it. So let go of all the conditioning that belongs to society, that society gave you. That belongs to the matrix. You want to let go of that stuff. You want to let go of that stuff. All the societal rules that they throw, you can't do that, you can't say this, you got to be like that. They make that stuff up to control you. They make the majority of that stuff up to control you. And so you want to let that go. That belongs to the matrix. That's why people that's why people are scared to talk to each other. It destroys they don't have no charisma because they're in their intellectual mind, analyzing what they can't say, what they can do. And that's how I was, all this social programming. Oh, I can't say that. I can't do that. They're going to judge me to that, because that's how they program you, so they can control you and keep you a slave. Let that go. You're the authority. God's the authority. Let the matrix, and detach from whatever, the agents to the matrix are talking about, and love them because they're just aspects of you, low conscious aspects of you. So let them talk shit, let them troll, let them have their opinion. It's all love. It's all love. They're the agent. They're the agents in the matrix, and maybe one day or one life they'll have their awakening and they'll know what they're talking about. And it's their life, so let them live their life. Not everybody wants to be, you know what I mean? And it's all good. No judgment. She said, keep doing it. I love the tears. Keep doing the lies. It'll put you in the algorithm. Yeah. I will listen to that advice. Thank you. So, yeah, these are top teachings. And this is, like I say, this is tangible. Like, Man, like a few years ago, I couldn't even imagine. I had so much, I identify with so much of my trauma and care what people think. But there's no way I could talk about the stuff that I'm talking about now. Ego, let it go. Ain't no way I could talk about, being on video and you like, I couldn't even speak a lot of my truths, a few years back. My throat chakra is so closed, so identify with my trauma, so wrapped up in the matrix, g- giving a fuck what people think. Oh, they're gonna think this. They're gonna think I'm a this. They're gonna think I'm a that. Let them think. Who cares? You'll be free. My greatest manifestations ain't materialistic. I got materialistic manifestations, but my greatest manifestation is confidence. I had the lowest confidence you can imagine. So a lot of my greatest manifestations are the things money can't buy. Now I understand why people say that. And a lot of times you have to build the foundation before the material stuff can come in. That's what I'm saying. You fix this, then the material stuff will start pouring in. Don't worry about it. Trust. No. Nothing is outside of you. The life you want, the romance you want, the friends you want, it exists. Stop listening to the limited ego mind identity that tells you, oh, the ego mind identity is limited. It doesn't know anything. It doesn't know about the multiple dimensions. Creation is finished. Everything exists. We live in a multi-frequental, multiverse, multi-timelines. There's multiple yous. But the ego mind doesn't know that. And so it operates in limitation. All girls are like this. All men are like this. You know what I mean? It doesn't know anything. You see it on YouTube. The limited lack mentality out here. Ain't no good this out here. Ain't no good that out here. And I get it. It seems like that when you're operating from the ego mind identity. But when you drop all those limitations, those limitation programs that belong to the ego mind identity, then you will be like, damn, I didn't know this person exists. I didn't know this kind of person exists. You'll attract them. You'll magnetize them to you. Got 38 minutes, man. I've been cooking. I'm giving y'all the jewels, bro. You ain't gonna hear a lot of this on YouTube. And also, you're not gonna hear a lot of like authentic spiritual people. You got the new age, the love and light, acting like they're just, talking like some guru that they seen on TV. It's like be yourself. You see the preachers, talking like they talk, Lord, God. It's just inauthentic. Like we need authentic people. That's an act. We need to drop the act. There's too many acting. You turn on the media, acting. You turn on preacher. It's okay to be you. You can speak like God knowledge and be you. You don't have to be like what you see on, like, you know what I mean, on TV or YouTube. We need authenticity. We need to stop acting like most of these spiritual people. They're not going to tell you about how they've been an alcoholic, how they was manipulative, how they did a whole bunch of low frequency behavior, about how they're angry, how, you know what I'm saying? Like they just try to pretend like they're angels that just fell out the sky that never did nothing. And they want to, you know what I mean? It's fake. And people are tired of that. We have to have the current. That's low frequency. Inauthenticity is low frequency. Those people are not vibrating high. That's fearful. You're afraid to be who you really are. That's fearful energy. That's no judgment. That's fine. I've had plenty of fearful energy. But that's low frequency. It is what it is. No judgment. I love low frequency people. I love high frequency people. I've seen enough low frequency in my life. Trust me, I've seen a lot of it. I know the low frequency. You know, I know how the dark side operates. I know how the demons operate. They was they was wearing me out. You know what I'm saying? Like ever since I was a little kid, you know, I had so much fear. Them demons was right up on me. You know what I'm saying? And so I could tell you how to, you know. All right. I want to thank anybody who's watching this. And I want to thank April Love, a motivating factor. Please please subscribe to her channel. She'd be cooking on there. All right. I think I went long enough now. So, all right. I'm going to be doing more live streams. All right. So, peace. Much love to y'all. And don't forget, your true identity is a divine fractal of God. Peace.